Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Country Bumpkin Creates. My name is Lucy and I'm coming to you today from Tavistock, which is a small town on the outskirts of Dartmoor in Devon. Thank you very much to any returning viewers, and a big hello and welcome to any new viewers. There have been a few new subscribers in the last couple of weeks. I'm really sorry that it's taken so long to record this episode. But life got in the way, and then we were on holiday for 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks. And I had every intention of recording last week, but then work and life and hospital appointments and things got in the way. So unfortunately, I was a little bit late getting to it. Today is Tuesday, the 30th of October. It's a beautiful, crisp autumnal day, but it's a bit chilly. And for us knitters, that's brilliant news, because it means we can get all the hand knits out. So it's my most favourite time of year, I must admit. I love autumn and those crisp sunny days where there's just a chill in the air, and you can wrap up nice and warm in all your hand knits. Right, let's get on with the show. I've got quite a lot to get through and I'm a bit short of time today. I normally work on a Tuesday, but I'm day off today because I'm going to a fused glass workshop this afternoon. And I need to be leaving in an hour and a bit, and I've got to have some lunch in between then. So I think we'll just get on with the show, because after all, that's what we're here for. So, as you can imagine, there's been quite a bit of knitting going on. It's got to be 6 weeks or more since I last recorded. So there's quite a few FOs. The first one I'm wearing is my Tenya. So as you can see, I did it as a fade. So I started with this beautiful blue colour sticking out there, I don't know why, and then I went into this variegated blue and browns and rusties, and then into this brown here. So all of these yarns are from Mr. B's Yarns. You can find him as Mr. M-I-S-T-E-R, Mr. B's Yarn on Instagram. And on their Etsy shop is Bird Street UK. Bird as in flappy thing. So I pretty much followed it to the pattern. Apart from I quite liked the sleeve length. So this was the sleeve length after I finished joining all the front and the back and stuff together. So I literally just did a little bit of rib, and then I did a sewn bind off, because I've got chunky old arms. I'm trying to show you the bind off. So I did it as a sewn bind off because I've got really chunky finger wings. But I love it. I love the colour fade. I have got more pictures on my Ravelry project page, and on my little front screen when the podcast starts, you can find my Ravelry username, which is Country Bumps, or my Instagram name, which is country_bumps. You can please feel free to friend me on either of those or both, but all the information is on my project page of the 3 yarns that I used. So this is Isambard, and then it went into Kingdom, and then it went into Brunel. And Nigel, my husband, is really into sort of railway history and all that sort of stuff, and engineering. He's a mechanic by trade, so he loves sort of engineering, all that sort of stuff. And his hero is Isambard Kingdom Brunel. He's got a big sleeve tattoo of Isambard Kingdom Brunel. So as soon as I saw this yarn on Mr. B's Instagram feed, I had to grab it. And then I knew that I wanted to do the Tegna, who knows how it's pronounced, Tegna. If you're a knitter, you'll know it because it's been everywhere in the knitting world. The pattern is by Caitlin Hunter. And I just love how it fits perfectly. The lace is blocked out really pretty. So this is the lace section at the bottom. It's blocked out lovely. And if it gets, I can wear it in the winter because I can put a long sleeve top on underneath it and then wear this over the top as like a layering piece. So it's just perfect. And it's I took it on holiday. It was a bit too warm to wear it on holiday, but for those sort of cooler summer evenings, then it would be perfect to wear for that. So that's my first major effort, so I'm really pleased that I managed to get it finished. Like I say, just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so other FOs. So this is a hat for the Hubster. And this is, it's called Sarah's Hat, and it's from the Sisters Hat collection by Jodie Brown from the Grocery Girls. I knit myself Tracy's hat. I'm sure it's Tracy's hat, isn't it? And then, so, you know, the patterns are written female, but with a change of colour, you can make them gender neutral. So this is, it's quite, he likes a tight fitting sort of beanie hat. He's not a slouchy hat person at all. So this is knit out of Cascade 220, and this is the colour Iridescence, and then this is Nebula, and then that whitey grey in there is River Rock. And it's perfect for using scraps because these little colour blimps, I use like 6 grams of yarn. So if you've got DK or worsted yarn left over, then even the smallest amounts can go in. You could even do them different colours if you've only got 3 or 4 grams left of a certain colour. I'll put it on, but it's a bit tight. He's got a smaller head than I have. So you can see it is a tight fitting hat, but like I said, that's what he likes. So because this is made out of Cascade, he's going to use this for work. So I'm going to make him one other so that he can, as one's in the wash, he can wear another one because it's getting a bit cold now. So that's the first one. And then while we were on holiday, I freaked out the muggles by doing some poolside knitting, laid on the sun lounger. So I knit this. This is the Sweet Felicia hat, which is also again by Jodie Brown. She's bringing out some lovely hat patterns at the moment. So this is Sweet Felicia. It's blowing out a little bit. It's the yarn is again Mr. B's yarn in the Just Rust colourway. So it's a bit of a darker, more grey green than it's showing, and then you've got these pops. These are more orangey brown pops. And again, this is for Nigel, but this is going to be what he calls this, one of his best hats. So it won't be worn for work because obviously the yarn is. But I was trying to convince him that it didn't suit him and it would be better for me. So I might have to knit myself one as well. So it's just a very simple cable. It's a 4-row repeat, and by the end of 2 repeats, it's. So I think he doesn't like pom poms, but I think it would have looked nice with a pom pom. So I'm gonna have to knit myself one. I've got hat hair now. And put a nice big fluffy pom pom on it. So that's the Sweet Felicia hat in Just Rust by Mr. B's yarn. So those are for the Hubster. Most of my FOs are gifts. And then, not to be outdone on the hat stakes, I was asked to make a hat for little Miss Banana for the winter. So, and I was given a picture of a white hat with 2 massive pink furry pom-poms on it. So this is what we came up with. And this is the Yorkville hat by Mina Phillip, who is the knitting expat. She did a New York sock collection last year, and this year she's used the patterns from the sock collection to come up with a hat collection. So there'll probably be more of those in future episodes. So this is just a simple, so what I did was this is the toddler size. I can't remember how many stitches it is, but it's paid for pattern, so I'm not going to tell you anyway. So I did so many repeats, and then I think I did 2 rounds of decreases, and then I did a 3 needle bind off, so that it would give me this pointy, so it would go in slightly on each side. So these sides go in, which would then give me room to put the pom-poms on. And I found these really fluffy pom-poms on Etsy. So I've now got to make a matching scarf as well. The yarn I used was Rico Baby Classic DK, which is perfect for a little one. So that'll be going off in the post. And I was also asked to make some socks. I did make a pair which have been gifted now, so I can't show you. They were just a pink pair. And again, this is another Mina Phillip knitting expat pattern. And these are just her toddler and baby sock. I think it's called baby and toddler sock recipe or something like that it's called. Again, they're on my Ravelry page. And these are in the Holly Berry colourway by Nora George Yarns. So I've done the first ones I put heels in, and then I thought, well, babies grow pretty quick. Well, she's not baby anymore, she's toddler now. She is walking. We had her first birthday. We had a party for her the day after I come back from holiday. So Miss Banana is now 1 year old. I can't believe how that year has gone so quickly. So I thought they grow pretty quick. So putting a heel in a baby sock is a bit. So I thought I'll do some tubes. So again, these were knit while I was on holiday. So what I did was I cast on 44 stitches. I did 1 inch of 2x2 rib, and then I did 8 inches of tube, and then a rounded toe. Yep. So, and Holly has asked me to do them like slipper socks. So I've got this from, it's a Rico Design product, and it's called a Sock Stop. And you know, like slipper socks have got that grippy stuff on the bottom. Well, this is that in a tube. So I'm going to add some of those to the bottom of these. And then they can be sent up as well with the hat. Okay, socks, sock talk, to plagiarise the grocery girls. So I have got some socks finished, which seems to have taken ages to get socks off my needles. So these are the Huggle socks by Mina Phillip, who's the knitting expat. So they're really pretty. They've got this cable, twisted rib cable that runs down each side of the foot, within a sort of reverse stockinette panel. So, and the yarn I used for these, it's a bit more yellow than it's showing. The yarn is Pucker Up. Pucker Up Baby by the Yarn Tart, available from Suffolk Socks. And it's a BFL, and it's really nice, really pretty colour. So those are for my sister Sarah's box of socks for Christmas. which I'm really behind on. And then another pair for Sarah. These were a whip in the last episode. So these are just a standard vanilla stripy sock with an afterthought heel that I cut in, and a standard. I always do a rounded toe, so I think it fits better. And these are, the yarn is Make Your Own Music by Hand Dyed by Kate. I got it on a D-stash ages ago. So these were like my handbag knitting and like when visiting Dad and things like that. So they've been a while on the needles, but I was glad to get them finished and done. One seems slightly longer than the other. I don't know why. Oh, when they're on your feet, they don't really matter, do they? Yeah, so they're really pretty. And then the third pair and the final finished object, is that right? Yep. Just looking at my show notes, are the Maya socks. These are for me. This is from the Neons and Neutrals Club by Rachel Coopy of Coop Knits. So you might remember in my last episode I was bemoaning the amount of cable. Well, I just finished off the chart. I know it looks a bit silly, but I don't care. Once they're on my feet, nobody's going to notice. And then, so I finished off the chart where I was. Then I did just normal plain stockinette until they were the same length as the other ones. And then I did the heel in the neon, carried on down the foot in stockinette, did a little bit of stripe before. So I did single stripes this time rather than double stripes, as the other one had, because you've got the double stripes on that sock up there. So so I'm really pleased that and they didn't, once I decided that I wasn't going to do the cable anymore, they didn't take long at all to finish. So I'm really pleased that they're off the needles too. Whew. So that's it for finished objects. Doesn't seem a lot, does it really? But this took a while. This took, I was pretty monogamous trying to get this finished before and blocked before we went on holiday. So let's move on to works in progress. Shall we? Okay, let's dive in. So the first one is this mammoth thing. I started this when we were on holiday, and I was pretty pleased with how quick the progress was. This is the Exploration Station by Stephen West, and it's pretty neon-tastic. I'll just spread it out a bit so you can. So I'm actually down now. So I'm up to the chevron border, so I'm almost finished. So next time I record this will be an FO because I want to get it done. And so you start with these short row wedges, which obviously get longer and longer, and then you do a brioche section, and then you do slip stitch section, and then you do some garter stripes, and then, like I say, I'm literally just on the chevron border now, so pattern's a bit screwed up because it's been on aeroplanes and stuff, so that's what it will look like once it's finished. Apologies for the rattling. So yarns that I used, let me get the tags. So the grey, this grey is a kettle yarn in the black quartz colourway, and it is yak down silk and superwash merino, so it's just beautifully squishy, and it doesn't say what the mix of the content is. It's 366 meters for 100 grams. It's in the black quartz colourway, but yeah, it doesn't give the percentage of what's what in there, but it is really soft and squishy. So I'm hoping that with that, doing it as the lace border, it'll give it a really nice drape. So that was that one. So that is the colour that you start with, and then it differentiates your different segments. And then this next sort of really neon pink, which is really cool. it's going to blow out horrendously, I think. So it's this, yeah, it is blowing out. It is like highlighter pink. So this is from Great British Yarns, and it's their Blue Face Leicester Superwash Sock Yarn. So it's 100% BFL, 385 meters per 100 grams. I've got a feeling they're not dyeing anymore, or they've stopped selling, or some, I don't know, which is a real shame, because I think I got this in a fibre share or a swap of some sort. So that is this neon colour. So that was my second colour. And then my third colour is Hedgehog Fibres in the Film Noir colourway. So it's got this beautiful sort of black and red speckle on like a creamy grey base. So that's the third colour. And my final colour, so that was, so you can see the speckles there. And then this fourth colour, my fourth colour is from a Homespun House. This was part of our Harry Potter Yarn and Charm Club, and it's the High Inquisitor, and it's on her soft sock merino fingering base, which is 75/25 merino nylon. Blowing out a bit. It's a bit darker than it's showing. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's a better colour back there. Yeah, so I so enjoyed knitting this. I tried to knit it once before, and I think I had the wrong, my colour choice wasn't brilliant, and I just couldn't get into the pattern. But this just flew while I was on holiday. I got up until, I was halfway through the slip stitches by the time we were due to come home. So it's not going to be long. But the four of us, myself, Imogen, Sarah and Soph, hi girls, are going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and this, we're all going to knit an exploration station as like our uniform, EYF uniform. So it'll be really cool that we're all wearing the same. So like I say, that will be an FO. It will be an FO by the time. And that's in my Gryffindor bag by Thimble and Thread Make on Etsy. No, she's not on Etsy anymore. If you find Thimble and Thread Make on Instagram, there's a link to her shop in there. Yeah, so that's the exploration station. There's a bit of a Stephen West theme going on now, because the next thing, as soon as I saw this, hang on, I'm just going to pause a second because I forgot to bring the pattern over, so bear with me. And I'm back. So the next thing is, as soon as I saw this, I was like, I need to knit this again for EYF. So instead of taking a coat, I am knitting the Mild Mania cardigan. So this is again a Stephen West pattern, and this is how far I am so far. So I've got the collar done, which took forever. So you start up here with like a 2x2 rib, and then you go to a 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, and then you end up eventually with a 6x6 rib for the collar. And so as you can see in the pattern, it is massive because it comes out so far. Look, there's a better pic. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's right, there's no pattern information on there. So you can see it starts off wide and then it comes in towards the bottom. So the two colours I used for this, so you're obviously marling everything. So I used this colour, which is from Dusty Dimples, and it's her 75/25 in the Dress Up Girls colourway. So I marred that with a skein. I had 2 skeins of the High Inquisitor yarn. So I marred that with the High Inquisitor. I used a complete skeins of both of them. So when and I did have to break into this. So luckily I had 2 skeins of the Dusty Dimples, but I'd already used the other one of the High Inquisitor in my exploration station. So I've pulled this out, and this again is a homespun. Sorry, I keep leaning down. I've put the project bag on the floor and I keep leaning down to get the tags out. Do apologise. And this is again a homespun house in her soft sock merino, and it's a Gilmore Girls reference. It's the Pop-Tart Dilemma. So when I'd come to do the bottom and the bottom rib and the cuffs of the cardigan, is the word I'm looking for, cardigan, I'll mar those 2 together. So hopefully it's, because it's going to be so far away, you won't notice. But like I say, I did do a few rows and you can't really tell on there that it's different. So, and then you move into the body. So I have moved into the body now, so it will be, let me try and fold it. So I've split for the sleeveys, and now I'm just going, this is going to take forever because I've got to reduce the amount of stitches between these 2 markers. So you can see it's quite a lot there, down to very few. So it's the body's, that's how the body takes shape. So I've split for the sleeves, and now so I'm going to do the body in different hues of blues. But the one, oh no, I've dropped the tag. Sorry, all fingers and thumbs today. I'm falling off my chair, falling off my perch. So I'm gonna, these are the 2 I'm using at the moment. So that's how they look when they're molded together. So throughout the whole thing, I'm going to keep hold of this skein, which is a Nora George Yarns, and it's the Resurrection Stone, which I think was a Mrs. Weasley's club, if I remember rightly. Yeah, because it was a sock set. So that's the Resurrection Stone, that one. And then this one here. So I'm going to start with like light blues and then work my way down through to dark blues. So this one is a Stranded Dye Works. Stranded Dye Works in her MCN base. So it's 80-10-10 superwash merino nylon cashmere in her feathered colourway. So it's coming out brighter than what it is. It's actually got quite a lot. It's like turquoise and green, and maybe if I hold it back a bit, it may. No, not really. Sorry, that it's really bright here today, and I've tried to cut out as much light as I can. So that's, this is going to be, because it's going to be epic. So this is going to be a whip that is going to be ongoing forever and a day, I think. But I've got till next March, so it'll be done before then. So that's where I am so far on that. So I'm pretty pleased with the progress on that. And this is being held in my, again, thimble and thread make canvas cube bag with my pins on. Okay, what's next? What's next? I've started another pair of, sorry, my chair's really creaky today, I don't know why. Started another pair of tube socks for Albana Banana. It's all tangled up. So I've literally just got a bit of a cuff done. I started this, Dad had a hospital appointment on last Friday, and we were at the hospital for like 6 hours. And this again is in Nora George Yarns, and this was her, she did a, when it was her shop birthday 2 years ago, might have been, or last year, might have been last year. She did a set of 3 skeins of yarn that were a birthday cake set, and she did a pale pink, a pale mint, and a pale purpley colour. So this is the pale pink one. So I'll just, these are live in my handbag now, and then I'll crack on, and whenever I get a chance to knit on them, that'll be that. Alright, what else have we got? In my honk if you knit last night bag by the Yarn Tart, again from Suffolk Socks, I have again something for Albana. I think this is going to be a Christmas present. I've only got a black and white picture, I'm afraid. So it's the Rio dress. So it's a really pretty dress, but it's got a moss stitch centre panel, and this band here, and then it's got it around the bottom as well. So I started this while I was on holiday, but moss stitch was driving me a bit nuts. So I've got the top of the dress done. It looks tiny, but once it's blocked and stretched out properly, it should fit, because it's got quite a lot of stretch in it. So once it's blocked, it'll. So I've got the top of the dress done, and the sleeves. So that's it. There's no. It's just like a little sleeve cap, and then you can see the moss stitch section down the middle, and now I'm on this moss stitch band around the centre of the dress before I start going into the skirt. And this is in the, again, this is another Nora George Yarns in the Peony Blush colourway. It's in her Super Socks. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, so it'll be easy to look after. Holly could just chuck it in the washing machine. So hopefully again that'll be a, if I get my bum in gear, it'll hopefully be nearly an FO by the time I record next. And finally, last but not least, in my Hufflepuff Rules bag, again from Thimble and Thread make. I haven't got my teeth in today. This is my Great British Bake Off knitting, and it is the French meringue socks, and they are by, I did write it down, Marianne Heikkinen on Ravelry. So that's what they look like. They're just really pretty. So this is a knit along being hosted by Lay Family Yarn, and it's you knit during when you're watching the Great British Bake Off, and it's the final tonight. So this is the first sock, so I'm nowhere near. But I missed 3 episodes while we were on holiday, and then I binge watched them while I was knitting something else. So you can see it's just got this little like cross cable all the way through. And then again, this is another Nora George yarn, a bit like the Stephen West and Nora George show today. Nora George yarn, and this was the Magical Weasley Garden, which was a Mrs. Weasley's Club from April of this year, and it's a 75%, 25% merino nylon. So it's really pretty. It's like a really pale, like grass green, with pops of yellow and purple, red and stuff in it. So I've got the leg done, and I've put in a Fish Lips Kiss heel. which I'm really into now. I used to be a heel flap and gusset girl, but I do like, it's just so quick compared to a heel flap. So I'm going to see how they fit. This pair's for me. So I've got quite a high instep, so it'd be interesting to see how they fit with this, and if it's not very comfortable, then I'll go back to heel flap and gusset for me. So that's it for works in progress. Future knitting. Wow. Mr. West has done it again. If you've been... He's done an autumn collection this year. And some of the patterns are like amazing. And then yesterday he brought out this one. The Textures Unite. Which is a textured version of his Vertices Unite shawl. Which has been on my radar for a long time. So it's just like different triangles and squares and things like that, but each one's got a different texture. And amazingly enough, this hasn't got mohair in it because I don't do mohair. Gives me the itchy witchies. So did a bit of a stash dive yesterday because it uses 6 colours. And what I've come up with is... Let me get my little yarn babies out. Oop. I dropped one. Bear with. Sorry, disappearing. So we have a colour palette of this. That lush. So use 6 colours. So colour A will be this gorgeousness. I can't get them all on my lap now. So this is a Madeline Tosh in the Tosh sock base, which is 100% superwash merino in the Dahlia colourway. Dahlia? Who says Dahlia? Apart from Craig Revel Hallward on Strictly. Dahlia, darling. Sorry. It's a bit darker than what it's showing on screen. Nah. So the first section is brioche. So as a colour pop for the brioche and the I-cord bind off words, I'm using this. So it's a beehive yarn. She does some beautiful colours, beehive yarns. I got this at Yarningham, and it's her Atomic Flamingo colourway on her Audrey base, which is 75%, 25% base. So those two are going to be brioche together. And it's got the accents of this Dahlia, the Dahlia colourway in it. So there, look. So that's the first 2. Then we have these 2 will be paired together. So this again is another Tosh sock. It's a variegated one, and it's the Steam Age colourway. And then this is leftover from my Sides and Stripes sweater. It's Stranded Dye Works in the Shiner colourway. So then we've got those 2 paired together. I think they're just like garter striped. And then these 2 together. Again, these are both upside down. I'm not going to use the mini skeins, but they came as a sock set, so they'll just go in my heels, toes and cuffs jar. And this colourway is Confundus. These were both Mrs. Weasley Club, so apologies that you can't get them this is the colour I started with, that I wanted everything else to go around, and then after stash diving I was like, ooh, oof. So what I did was I drew out the shape of the shawl and then got colour pens that matched very similar colours to these and coloured them in, and then so moved bits and pieces around, moved colours around. And this is the Cloak of Invisibility. And again, both of these are 75/25 merino nylon. So once Exploration Station is finished, I will be casting on the Textures Unite. I've been waiting for that to come out because he did a live video a couple of months ago now and did like a sneak peek of that, and I was like, I wanted to do the Vertices Unite for ages but just haven't got round to it, and then when I saw that was coming I was like, I'm going to wait. And the other thing for future knitting is I want to get another garment on my needles, but I want to do a DK weight sweater this time. So I've got fluff in my mouth. So we are going to Yarnporium in London on Saturday. So if you see me there, please come and say hello. I don't bite, and I might have a little gift for you. So please come and say hello. So while I'm there, I'm going to go to John Arbon and look at their Knit by Numbers range because it's got a vast amount of colours. So this is the sweater that I've decided on. And it is called Square and Stripe. And those of you who have been with me before will be not surprised that it's by Vera Valimaki. I just love Vera's aesthetic, the way her patterns are written. What's that with my grammar? Obviously not had enough tea today. Patterns are wrote. What's all wording? Anyway, so the way her patterns are written, but the whole aesthetic, the fit of the sweaters, for me personally, I just love everything about her. So I'm thinking this in a plum as the main colour, and then a grey, like a light grey as the stripe. But when I get there, I may be enticed by a different colour. So we will have to see. But his knit by, if you look on the John Arbon website, the Knit by Numbers range is phenomenal. And what they do is they take a colour and then they do like 6 gradients of that colour. So it's just amazing. So I'm hoping that I can get what I want there at Yarnporium on Saturday. But I don't know whether I'll cast it on when I get home or I might try and get like halfway through my Mild Mania cardigan first before casting on this sweater, because I think once I've cast this on, it'll be all about that, and then it'll come to February and I'll only have this much of a cardigan done. So if I can get halfway through possibly, and then I'll cast on DK sweater, which I'm hoping will be quicker to knit than a fingering weight. Well, I think that's it. Yeah. Although saying fingering weight sweaters, I do want to cast on the Zweig or Zweig or whatever you call it. I've had so many different pronunciations. Zweig, I call it. I have got the yarn for that ready and waiting. But don't think I can cope with another fingering weight sweater at the moment. So yeah, I think that'll be the plan. Halfway through the Mild Mania, and then I can cast on the Square and Stripe. So I think that's it. It's been a bit of short but sweet. Apologies if it feels a bit rushed, but I am pressed for time. If I didn't record this morning, then it was going to be another week, and I didn't want to leave it another week. And as it is. This may not be uploaded till sort of Thursday as it is. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, please friend me on Instagram or Ravelry. If you like this podcast, please subscribe. Down below, press this little button that says subscribe, and there's a little bell next to it. If you press that, it will give you a reminder every time I upload a video, which I'm going to try and be better at doing more regular, but time unfortunately is spare time is few and far between at the moment with family stuff, looking after dad, etc. What was I saying? Yes, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, because that will then help me get out to other people who are looking for new podcasts to watch. Thank you very much. Happy knitting. And again, if you see me, if you're coming to Yarnporium on Saturday, we're hoping to be there about when it opens, so 10 o'clock till about 1ish, hopefully. And then we're going to head over to a new yarn shop that's opened in Richmond. Sorry, brain fart there. In Richmond, called Tribe Yarns, and they've got a stand at Yarnporium, but they're also doing a knit and natter in the afternoon. So we're going to try and head over there and join in with that for a couple of hours, which will be lovely. So if you do see me, please come and say hello. Give me a hug. I do like a hug. That's it. Thank you for watching. Take care. Enjoy your happy knitting, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.